What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Gloves and Shoves with yours truly, Elias, Theodoro, and
Patrick Tardif, also known as Egyptian
all day. So excited to be here at United. Patrick and I have kind of been in each other's domain for the last couple months, ever since lockdown. You know, we've been doing some training on each other's home turf, if you will.
It's a little bit easier than training online for fitness and doing workout regimens. So getting to meet in person, getting to hang out in person has made things significantly more enjoyable and more fun.
Right now, what we're going to do is another workout here at United Gym, just before we get our poker on with Beat the Pros, which we've been doing every Saturday. So we kind of get a sweat on here before we sweat it on the poker table. But anyways, let's get to it and let's go. Before Patrick and I jump into some circuit training, we're going to warm up the body so we're ready to go. Patrick and I just finished up our warm-up. How do you feel, my man?
I'm a bit sweaty. I feel like I might give it away that I'm a bit sweaty. I'm warmed up. I think it'd be lying if I said I wouldn't be warmed up.
Well, that's perfect. That means he's actually going. And part of it, again, you had a bit of a grind yesterday.
It was a long session, 15 hours, a bit more than you should be grinding for poker.
Yeah. Well, I respect it. Again, whether it's grinding, on the poker table or obviously here, the importance is, what's called practice makes perfect, and also just putting hours into it. So the thing that we kind of did just now to kind of both open up, because you've been sitting, we did a bunch of different stretches, and also, again, some movement and a little bit of agility, just to get that heart rate going in between. Now we're actually going to get into our workout. Our workout itself, we're going to focus with some kettlebells. We're going to kind of show Patrick the position and the technique to use a kettlebell, and then we're going to kind of incorporate it in a little bit of a circuit training. Again, we take whatever power we have, and then also do some strength that does have a little bit of conditioning, does have a little bit of cardio. So same thing with a lot of these workouts that we're going to do. It's kind of like a Spartan workout, if you will. It's all cardio, it's all power and strength, and it's all mixed up in between. Let's get it.
Pumped.
Don't lie. Hips don't lie. How you feeling, my man?
Hopefully, as we progress, you can see me get more and more sweaty, so you can kind of tell how I'm feeling.
Yeah, and you put in the work. Again, we did a little bit of agility, we did a little bit of stretching, we did some strength work in regards to explosions with the kettlebells. The kettlebells continue, but this is going to be more conditioning. We're going to lift these, we're going to go back and forth, and then we got a sled on the other side to push.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen all the MMA training workouts, I've seen the sled push. So
Got to throw it in there.
I've seen it. I was like, it looks to work.
Exactly, and that's what we're doing. Putting in work just before we put in some work on the GG poker tables for Beat the Pro. Let's do it. Woo. finished up here on my turf, and now we're gonna jump. On Patrick's turf. We're both gonna enter, as we do every Saturday, Beat the Pros every 1 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna go put in some work there too.
Yeah.
So
physically exhausted myself, and now it's time to mentally exhaust ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Or our competition.
All right, and we are live for our official first session here, Patrick with Elias. Gloves and shoves. I think I'm gonna book it. I'm just gonna auto book it now. Let's call it. I mean, I think that's what the moniker is gonna be. A little wide, but okay.
Yeah. Again, once the issue for me is once I start getting a stack, playing tight still in the right times. I think I definitely get loose. Right when I'm starting to build that momentum, as we talked about, and that's one of the things. Because like even in our previous conversations, you ask how do you play? Well, I'm like I'm tight, then I'm not.
Yeah. Especially when you start hitting flops and start doubling up, it's just like, all right, well, let's just keep this train going. And it's I think it's called winner's tilt to it. You're winning so much, you can't lose, keep playing. And then you start, it happens when people win big tournaments, so they keep winning big pots. They just keep playing, and then they sort of force things or do things that might not necessarily be profitable, and it just compounds errors. And I think too, it's just a situation where you're not very well versed in what to do pre-flop. It's a learning curve, and we're gonna power through this, and it's things that we can fix pretty quickly. And one thing that I've seen as a trend as well that I'm at least very, very happy to see is you're aggressive. You're not afraid to bet and bluff in spots like this. And I think I'm looking forward to seeing it in the rest of this hand history, because typically, even people that don't play for a living, the people that don't play for a living that win are the ones that are more aggressive. The people that are tight, they eventually, you can only get aces and kings so many times, right? So this is something as well that I like to see as a trend that I've seen picked up.
Yeah, and again, the position and the concept, going back to martial arts, position over permission, right?
Mm.
Like there's a lot of aspects in regards to understanding the parallels and the capacity of the position of where you're sitting and the position your hand sits as well.
Yeah. Traditionally, as I said before, I'd rather raise than limp. When he makes it this large, it's very hard for us to call now, because when we call, as I'll visualize it here, the pot's 13,000, we've got 15,000. Majority of the time, it's either we're all in or we're folding, like that sort of thing, right? So it's almost like when he goes this big, we almost don't mind just going all in here. He could sometimes fold, and then we just win, however many chips. Also, when we call, this guy will call it sometimes as well, which isn't necessarily bad, but now it goes from, we're playing versus one person versus two people. It gets a little bit more complicated, a little tougher, and, we also are less likely to win the pot, with more people in the hand. So yeah, I think versus this, I might just go all in here if I had limped. If he's bluffing, we just take the chips down. And he's still going to end up calling with some more stuff. Yeah, I think throughout, I'm gonna ask you a few questions, see what your thought is. I think it's important to not just try to go over things and tell you what you could have done. I think it's important to listen to your thought process and ask you what you were thinking about this, because part of poker and improving is figuring out what the sort of thought process and mindset is in the particular hands, because that could be a critical thing. It could be something like, you're just thinking about a thing slightly differently. We tweak that, and all of a sudden, that leak, that problem is gone.